You're back in the shop with me today, guys, and this week on the channel, I need a little extra room next to that little dining room table we made last week. So today I'm gonna make a floating shelf. Stick around. I'm Stoner Erickson from Erickson Design Company, and let's build something. Ta-da! I don't know if you remember this piece, but it's the piece we cut off to make our table legs on the little table we made last week. And we're gonna just use up this piece of scrap. I only need to be about 16 inches long, so this is gonna work just fine. I pulled the crosscut sled off the wall and I noticed it was a bit stiff. So I'm gonna try to find the paste wax, found it, and then I'm going to put some paste wax on the cast iron of the table saw and also on the back of the crosscut sled. And then I'll wipe it off and it should be smooth as butter. Next, I'm going to cut this down to 16.5 inches. Now I'm going to be attaching this on an interior wall, and that's about 14.5 inches on center. And since I need to go directly into those studs to make this thing have some strength, I need to make sure it's at least 16.5 inches big. I'll cut it down and we'll keep on cruising. I'll lay out that 14 on center on the actual piece so I know where my wall mounts are going to end up at, and then I'll clamp this to the actual table. I'll use a speed square to keep my drill nice and straight, but I wish I had a vise clamp here. I have to take a different clamp to clamp it down. When I rebuild this table, remind me to use a vise clamp. Then I'm just going to freehand using the speed square to keep the drill as straight as I can and drill 5 holes. I'm making this really fast so you can see how the holes aren't lined up exactly, but that'll be okay because the next step I'm going to do is take it over to the table saw and I'm going to cut 1.25 inches off of it. Now this will leave a hanger that goes on the wall, and it'll leave the actual shelf that's going to actually fit through some dowels, and it'll hold it up like a freestanding floating shelf. If you've seen my shop upgrade videos, you remember I built this little dowel storage, and I have this up in my shop. It's where I keep all my dowels so I know where they're at. So I'm going to grab a couple 3/8 inch dowels right out of there. Then I'm going to measure the depth of my drill bit. It's about 4 inches. I didn't go all the way down, so I'm going to cut these and measure these to 3 3/4 inches. I'll actually mark it on my chop saw so I can slide them up every time to that mark. If you like fun and creative videos like this, hit that subscribe button. Do it, and do it now. Plus, leave me a comment, guys. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll totally comment back. Back over to my main table, I'll do a little cleanup, and then you can see how the holes straddle each side. It's pretty dang awesome. I'll do a light hand sand on each piece, just getting the tips cleaned up so that they'll slide into each other a little easier. Gently tapping these in with my wooden mallet. They should go in pretty easy. If you want to see how I made this wooden mallet, check out this card right here. It's an awesome Father's Day gift and a super fun project. I'll do a light test fit at the table, just make sure everything's right on it, and then I'll head inside to hang it up. Since I already marked and laid out where my wall 2x4s are, it's easy enough to just get the one side started, run a 3-inch screw all the way through it. I want to use a 3-inch screw, so it's going to be a lot stronger. Take a level and then hold it level and then run the other side straight through. These 3-inch screws will give it about 2 inches of purchase into the 2x4 and make it wicked strong. I'll kind of line up where the actual dowels are going to fit into the shelf, lightly tap it with my hand, and then I'll use my mallet and I'll work my way down and tapping it in the whole time, just ever so gently. And you can see how cool this is when it comes together, because of the way it was cut, you won't even be able to tell there's a seam there at all. I couldn't be more stoked on how this came out. Give me a thumbs up or a like if you think this is cool, guys. Now I know what my wife's gonna say. Stoner, stop building stuff for this house, we're about to move. But I was so used to that big table and all the room that I had for it, and now I've got this cool little shelf for my drinks, for my water. I can throw my laptop up there to charge when we're having dinner. That stuff's out of the way. If you guys remember this little laptop stand that I built to help get air underneath my laptop when I'm working, you can check out that video in the link in the description below. But That thing's pretty dang cool, but I basically can just take my laptop when we're about ready to eat, set it up out of the way, and then I can eat. And I have a little, I mean, this thing you're not gonna wanna sit on, you're not gonna stand on it, but it's gonna be able to hold a considerable amount of weight, electronics, maybe a plant. But I really like that. It was super easy. It took me like 15, 20 minutes to make, and there it is. Thank you guys for watching once again. I'm Stoner Erickson from Erickson Design Company, and we built something. Ta-da!